Hi, I'm Angela Hood. I'm the founder and CEO of ThisWay Global, and you are joining us on the Diversity Cafe. Today, I'm so excited to have my friend from FloCareer, Mehul Bhatt, and it's so excited to talk to you today. You're calling in from Atlanta, I believe. Is that right?
From Boston.
Oh, from Boston. Awesome. That's amazing. So please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Angela. My name is Mehul. I'm co-founder and CEO of FloCareer. And you can think of FloCareer as the Uber of interviewing. So we provide interview as a service solutions. What we mean by that is an AI-enabled interviewing platform with gig workers who can take care of the first few rounds of your in-depth technical interviews to save time and bring velocity to your interviewing process.
That's amazing. So I know founders always talk about their company in a particular way, and we open up. We always let you talk about your service that you provide and the technology that you provide. But the thing that I really love about what you do is it helps recruiters be fair and be compliant in their interviewing process. They know the same questions are being asked of the same people. They know that everyone's getting a fair shake at answering the questions, and that those questions have been screened to be correct and compliant. And I think it's really hard with what recruiters have to do nowadays. So I love what you do. Also think it has some huge components about lending itself towards reducing bias, increasing diversity, all those things. But first, let's talk about our partnership, because I love the fact that you have joined our forces with UIP, which is the Universal Integration Platform. I think we both talked the first time we met about how many customers wanted to use our shared technologies, but couldn't, or it was very difficult for them to, because their applicant tracking system or their particular
Mhm.
candidate relationship manager system didn't have a relationship with us directly. And now the fact that we were able to join forces together and provide a more complete, more compliant, better solution to increase diversity and remove bias, I absolutely love having you as a partner. And I think that we've had a lot of companies get to experience your team on our roadshow that we've been on this last year. So tell us kind of what do you think that's so important about what we do together?
Sure. Yeah, I'm also so excited to be, part of the UIP ecosystem where it makes it very seamless for companies under the HR tech umbrella to work with each other, interoperate, and really make it very easy for the talent acquisition folks to use different existing components in their ecosystem as well as all the new innovations that we are all bringing on the table, and really bring a velocity to the solutions that we provide, right? uh, I was really amazed the speed at which we can integrate all of these
Yeah.
platforms
Yeah.
together, and literally kind of plug and play, or like a jigsaw puzzle. You can just put together all the pieces together, and very quickly solve the real world problem for recruiters. uh, you know uh, People who have legacy systems or existing large databases of candidates and whatnot, they can very seamlessly use their existing resumes, existing candidate history and everything, and marry it with all of these new products that we bring on the table, uh, you know literally within minutes, which
Yeah.
people that sounds like impossible, but you have to see it to believe it for
I
sure.
know. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that when we talk about this is everyone's like, well, how can you do it so fast? And it's not because it's magic. It feels like magic if you're getting access to that. There's just decades of technology development between your company and our company. And the fact that we all build enterprise level technology makes it easy now. But I think people are so accustomed to people saying it's going to be fairly simple, it's going to be fairly fast, and then it isn't, that they're
Mhm.
just frustrated with that. So, I mean, what would you say if a customer is listening to this and they're like, okay, am I really going to be able to systematically do my integration or my interviews with FloCareer quickly, or is it going to honestly take months to get access?
Well, Angela, I think we already have existing, case studies and, existing diverse systems that we have already put together. And, when it comes to, interviewing, we can make it really easy, right, through the UIP and this ecosystem. Simply to just fetch very basic, simple, candidate information, like their email address, phone number, so on and so forth, so that we can reach back to them, schedule an interview, right? A big piece of this entire puzzle is also the scheduling. When there are a lot of interviews to be done, multiple rounds in particular sequence, with availability of the interviewers as well as the candidate, and with very busy schedule of everybody involved, scheduling becomes a bottleneck, right?
Yeah.
And we are able to solve that very easily, right? Like a calendly like interfaces, to make sure that the people seamlessly, especially the keeping the candidate in mind, candidates
Yeah.
availability is the center point. Make it easy, get it scheduled in order to reduce biases, really curate these interviews, so we have a very rich set of interview questions, and it's kind of based on the candidate's history, based on the the job that they're applying for, the type of the company, size of the company.
Yeah.
Based on all of these, there is an AI engine that figures out what are the best interview questions for what kind of job and candidates, right?
So you brought up AI. Let's talk about that for a second. So do you ever have, well, let me go back. We both have very large enterprise companies that we work with, some of the largest in the world. And we have partners in that same space. So you and I both have to go through a lot of procurement and a lot of hurdles along those lines. So not so much about from a procurement or compliance, because we know that that exists, but from just an AI perspective, is there anything that a customer needs to be concerned about or needs to be asking you or asking your competitors about around AI?
Oh, absolutely. I think there is a lot of discussions or hype to be to
Yeah.
talk about. But what enterprise level customers are really concerned about at this point is to make sure that they are compliant about all the new laws and rules coming up, the regulations, right? And making sure that the AI that they are using is truly an ethical AI, right? An AI that does not transfer a human bias into their programmers' biases, right? So unbiased and ethical AI, which you can ensure that you will not get into any kind of legal issues later on. These are on the in the minds of these enterprise level customers, and that always pops up into any discussions that whenever you bring up AI. So for sure, how do you reduce biases not only in your human interactions, but also making sure that the models that you have trained does not carry those biases into your AI solutions that are very, very important.
Well, I know that when we first met, I remember this was the first conversation that we had was kind of like, I can't work with you unless you prioritize removing bias and you prioritize diversity. And we both were sort of saying the same thing to each other, which was nice because I think it made it easy for us to realize that we were prioritizing the same thing. Then we just had to figure out, can our tech work together? Now that has been proven too, we're starting to deploy it to customers. I will say that on the last 7 or 8 enterprise calls I've been on this week, this particular interviewing, worrying about how we make sure that we're compliant, worrying about how do we make sure our interviewers are doing the right thing, they're asking the right questions and not the wrong questions. All of this came to light because, as you know, EEOC puts out lawsuits, OFCCP brings in audits. and says, prove to us you're doing all this correctly. And I just think FloCareer is an amazing opportunity for companies to be able to do that at scale and not have to be worried about it.
True, absolutely. There's a business problem to solve, and there is another very practical problem to solve also for the interviewers, right?
Yeah.
When you are talking about enterprise companies which has offices across all 50 states, very diverse set of situations in which they operate. Many times, even the interviewers, not necessarily all the interviewers are very seasoned, experienced interviewers. They are also struggling with what are the best interview questions. How do I bring new set of questions, right?
Yeah.
And when you have a very rich library of relevant interview questions, that ensures that no matter who takes the interview across your entire organization, they are equipped with the right difficulty level questions. So it doesn't happen that somebody is very strict and asks very difficult questions.
Right.
On the other hand, somebody is very lenient. So not only the biases but also consistency of your selection process. That becomes very, very important.
Well, and this sort of leads, the level and quality of the technology, the level and quality of the questions that you're able to provide across all the different industries, and then your partnership inside UIP ecosystem led to you also joining us as an IBM watsonx Orchestrate partner, which we absolutely love because now customers can just come into watsonx Orchestrate. They can just select you and start using your interviews. And if that doesn't spell out easy to use and easy to start working with, I don't know what does. But tell us about what's your experience been so far joining in watsonx Orchestrate?
watsonx Orchestrate, has really taken it to the next level in terms of automation of workflows. Really making it convenient for our end user, which is the talent acquisition personnels, right? So they can pick and choose these different components, these different capabilities that they have, right? And very easily make workflows. People are used to the tables and charts when it comes to the a typical HR tech product, be it an HRMS system or ATS or whatnot. And watsonx Orchestrate has ensured that it is more like Alexa or Siri like interface, where they can simply just literally talk to or type a very plain English conversation with the system, and still things happen within minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty. I absolutely love it, and all the customers who have seen that, they also love it.
Yeah. It's I think people are surprised by it. Honestly, I think they expect some technology to be available to them. They've seen lots of different versions of this thing or that thing, background checks or whatever. But when they find out that they can actually have help interviewing, and to your point, scheduling those interviews and maintaining that schedule of interviewing, which we have one enterprise customer we just started working with. They spend 50% of their time on just that. And no one enjoys it. It does not cause any delight at work. And they really don't want to risk losing their people over it. So I think it's an incredible solution that I personally think a lot of people overlooked.
Well, yeah, I mean, many times people just underestimate the the scheduling overhead when you are talking about large number of interviews, right? It might seem very straightforward, but when you have people from within your organization and candidates who are not part of your own organization, where you don't have their calendar access, we have observed that on our platform, the first time scheduled interviews end up getting rescheduled almost 55 to 60% of time.
Wow.
So now if you don't use the technology, if you don't have a proper platform, somebody has to now keep coordinating between multiple parties to figure out who is available when, and spend enormous amount of time. But if you have scheduling automation, that makes it very easy and very convenient for both parties involved.
That's incredible. I just love it. Well, I want to say thank you for joining us today. I loved having you on. I always like talking to you, but sometimes I think it's even better in these venues because I end up learning more from you, which is exciting. I hope that you will join us to come back in the future. And the reason why I say that is we mentioned biased, we mentioned compliance, we mentioned diversity, but we didn't really get time to dig into that. And I think basically we have a ton of people that want to know more about this. So I hope you will join me. Maybe we can get together in a few weeks. But thank you. We loved having you. If people want to know more about FloCareer, how would they reach out to you?
The best way to reach out to us is our website, www.flocareer.com. That is a flow, F-L-O, career.com. No W in there.
Okay.
And yes, Angela, always a pleasure to, have a discussion with you, talk with you, exchange ideas, and, bringing our, partnership together more and more.
All right, great. Well, we will see you soon.
Thank you.